And now I think Murph's going to tell us about improving our spotting.
Well, gonna give it a shot. Most all you guys know about this stuff, and I learned about this about a year ago on VE7CC. I didn't know that you could have your computer yell at you when, especially we got a new de-expedition coming up, and it's coming up de-expedition season. After I learned it, it sure made being able to chase the new ones a lot easier. So this is going to be fairly quick and easy. Most of you probably already know how to use CC User. Randy has put in a very good video on how to use this, I think a year or two back, and it's in the YouTube stuff. So my hat's off to Randy for it. So once Randy touched on how to set things up, then found out that you could set up, the alarms for when one of the de-expeditions have been spotted. And I'm over, you can click on these bands and like all of them are what's being spotted on my filters, blah, blah, blah. And over here, there is the alarm. And the current one that I have in my alarm is the Delta 6 0 Alpha Echo that the guys were talking about earlier. And when some of the local fellas start spotting it, Arizona, I don't really pay too much attention a lot when other guys like South America or East Coast stuff is going. But once the West Coast starts waking up, then I start waking up too. And it'll tell you the time that it was last spotted. The time up here is 0244, and so this was a couple hours ago, and during our sunrise. But in that is the setup for getting those spots in there, and there'll be this window that will come up when you hit alarm. And now I'm going to have to pull it back up because it moved. There it is. So you get your alarm window that you set up. Over here, the calls, these are the ones I currently have in there. I did have a list going down had about 10, 12 calls in there that were about a year old. And then when I decided I was going to do this, I figured, well, it's a good time to clean stuff up and get them deleted. So to add one is you just type in their call into the ad. Like sometimes I'll put in N7QT. You guys all know N7QT, and he's usually on the ball on spot and stuff. So this will let me know when he's on the air and that he has been spotted. And so then I'll go and take a look and see what he's working, because he usually knows where the good stuff's at. And then say like you don't want him in there anymore, you can just delete it out. And it'll disappear. These here are the bands. You can specify them for what bands that you would like to be spotted. And I have them all checked. And you want to have it pass. Sometimes if you have this collected button down here, I did it before, and it rejected. I was like, how come I'm not getting any spots? Well, because I was rejecting everything in those bands. So you have to pay attention a little bit to this. You want to have all those pass. You can go in here and have your sounds set up and whatnot, which is, I'm going to let you figure that out because everybody's computer's a little bit different. But after you get done, be sure to save it. So once those people that are in this area here show up, if you have the sounds turned on, it will come over your speakers and you can come running into the shack so it's pretty simple. This was probably one of my game changers for me that allowed me to be able to follow along on the de-expeditions. So, and there's a lot of different types of softwares and stuff out there. Another thing that I'll do is I'll go to one of the de-expedition sites to see what's going on. And October, Bob is very good about telling us what's coming up and stuff like that. And I'll use these sites to kind of update what's coming up and what's going on So there is that. If you get into using CC User and you want to find out what's going on with the de-expeditions, just go into your alarms and start adding the call signs that's in there. And, if somebody in the U.S. or whatnot is picked them up and spotted them on the internet, it'll show up here. So that's kind of a handy tool. Pretty short and sweet. A lot of you guys have a lot more experience about this than I do. This is just my last years of toying around with it. So that's my little thing on how to get started on setting up alarms in VE7CC. Back to Mel.
Okay, any questions for Murph on that?
Murph, this is Randy. Could you bring back VE7CC user?
User. Oh, that one there?
Yes.
Okay.
Click on country, the tab that says country, then ask cluster down toward the bottom.
And then the K showed up.
Yep. Click on state.
Okay. Yeah.
Ask.
And I took this tip from you, Randy. I see where you're going, and I'm glad you're showing this. In the W7s, if you click on W7, it'll list all the W7s. Randy told me we don't really not too interested in Arizona or Nevada, Wyoming, and Utah. And so that's a good tip there, Randy. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was hunting for. I thought that you might have everything selected. That's why you were getting everything in the alarm. But apparently the alarm does not pay attention to the countries and the states, because what you had set is what I would recommend if you just wanted to see what's being heard locally.
Exactly. I thought that too also. I thought the states would let me, filter out this other stuff in here, but maybe it does, and maybe I haven't let it run long. And well, no, that states is in there. So that's a good point.
The other thing that I see is all those spotters don't have the pound sign by them. Oh, and you don't have skimmer checked over there either.
I turned the skimmer off just because of this. But yes, Randy, let me get back to here. That's a good point for all. Let me just do 20 meters here. Good point Randy's got here. This pound signs that you see right here, these are what are skimmers or automatic listeners on the airwaves, the software. It ain't actually manual guys putting them in. And there's a skimmer button over here, and you can turn it off. And these now, if you notice, the pound signs are gone. These are manually put in. A guy had to be at a keyboard to put that in. Is that right, Randy?
Yes, there's other ways than keyboard, but basically you're right, yes.
Yeah. And so when a lot of times I'll turn that skimmer off, and the reason why is it's usually full of FT8 right now. Unless a de-expedition comes in and then, that's doing CW, I'll start putting it in, which you can. And Randy's going, Murph, how come you just don't turn off FT8? And turn off the FT modes. Anytime you make a change, be sure to tell it what you want to do. And then go back. And then after it starts listing again, it should start down and loading the stuff that is in that setting that you did. Can you think of anything else, Randy?
The only other thing that I would add is that the skimmer only does CW and RIDI, doesn't do sideband.
Yeah, FT8. Does it do RIDI?
Yes, it does RIDI.
Okay, so skimmers
I guess it does FT8 also. I don't look at that, but it doesn't do sideband. That's
right. Yeah, you're right. And FT8 is, as you can see, the popular thing. And you're right. Thanks for that, Randy. You're the guru on this. And you're the one that. Well, you taught me. So, and I knew there was this de-expedition stuff coming up, and if there's guys that want to work stuff that's coming up, and it's like TQ. I put TQ, and sometimes I'll put Randy in there too. What are these guys looking at? So it helps me out. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice, Murph.
You might also mention that you can use clear all and get all to get rid of all the spots that you no longer want, like those skimmer spots.
That's
Down at
true.
the bottom. Down at
That's
the bottom.
true. So you can
Yeah.
see that how my screen is all filled up stuff and it's been running for a while and I just get in the shop. I can clear it all off and then I can get a new list of the stuff that's coming up. Now this is all. Al has a good point. Let's say like you want to see what's going on 40 meters. We can, let's go back over here to all. Let's clear all. Let's go to 40 meters. And you can get what's just on 40 meters. So here's the guys, and the time is 14. Wow, that was a manual stuff on 40 meters. That's a good point, Al. And you can clear the band. You can go to 20 meters and get the latest stuff. And here's our de-expedition on sideband that was being spotted.
So,
Good point. Right on. Thanks, guys.